that Ian Botham came in to bowl the first over. Here's the first ball, and Kepler Vessels is taking straight. Unusual delivery and a most unusual shot for Vessels. Almost a straight bat whack past square leg. No third man.
John Agnew taking the new ball. 48 wickets this season, averaging 24 runs per wicket, and of course 9 for 70 for Leicestershire against Kent.
The outfield's a little slow. They'll get 3, but they'll have to earn all their runs out there today. Three more to Hilditch. Kepler Vessels to face Ian Botham. Tim Robinson is the fielder. It's past Pitt to play here, which is a bonus for England because he's been in such good form. But he had a bit of back trouble. Couldn't play with Nottinghamshire in one or two of their contests recently. Good shot. A late cut.
Knocking on the door of Test cricket for the last 2 or 3 years, David Shepherd. Botham still keeping the 3 slips. Gully quite deep. Helped away down to a long leg, and that gets down there very quickly indeed. Despite the slow outfield, perfectly timed by Hilditch. So Allett's going to get a crack from the far end, the Warwick Road end. To the delight of the crowd. There must have been some doubt as to whether Paul Allett would have retained his place in this side, and probably the fact that he's playing here on his home ground just clinched it for him. So 50 up for Australia, good time, coming off just 71 balls. It's Botham still at it. It's over-pitched and driven very firmly through the covers. That'll go through for 4. And most of the scoring today has been off the back foot. Very few times we've seen a drive prominent.
A fine shot this. It's quite wide, but he got his foot well across. Good follow through, kept his head down, and the perfect finish. England are desperate looking for some bowler who's going to bowl well on this pitch. In fact, John Embry is going to be given a go at the far end there.
That's driven in the gap through the offside. Pleasant shot there from the left-hander. Nice off drive for 4. Allett is getting the choice now from the Stretford end, replacing Botham. So he'll get the stiffish breeze behind him. Over-pitched and driven very firmly again through the mid-off. Gattin enjoying a little chase away from that short leg position.
On the surface, the Australians have made an excellent start. 73 for 1 from 18 overs. But it's at the end of the day Gower will know whether he's been successful or not in that ploy. Not so much what happens in the first session, because he can whittle away at the opposing batsman in the second and third sessions and still come out looking fairly good.
And he's gone. Beautiful piece of bowling. Change of pace, little flight, mistimed drive, and a relatively simple catch to both of them at slip there. So Embury strikes, the first wicket goes down with 71 on the board, and it's the end of Kepler-Wessel's.
And after Wessel's dismissal, another 14 runs were added before lunch. Boone struggling a little, but hanging in there to be 6 not out, and Andrew Hilditch on 43. We pick up play now after the interval. It's the second over with 6 runs having been added, and Agnew is the bowler, with Hilditch taking strike.
It's good on drive, over pitch, clipped very firmly by Hilditch through mid-on. Gatton is the man giving chase. Comes down for 4 runs, just beneath us here, down at the Stretford end. And he's gone this time, yes, up goes out, no question at all about that. Definite edge onto the pad, and that was a good catch by David Gower, went very quickly. So Hilditch goes for 49, making Australia 97 for 2. But Gower bowled Edmonds. David Boone has taken the score along to 11 now, faces Agnew. Another over-pitch ball, that's driven again very firmly through mid-off. This outfield's very slow. So 3 figures goes up on the board. 100 for 2 Australia now, coming up in the 31st over. Agnew to border. That's a lovely shot for 4 runs. Each time he's over-pitched, he's been punished by these two. Perfectly timed off drive.
Yes, how quickly Border moved to the pitch of that. So simple. Out there, and a punching shot and a follow-through. Sign of a man in form. And Phil Edmonds, all these uncertainties about his field placings. He wants the men out deep, he wants the couple in close. He usually wants them everywhere.
Stumped. Edmonds has him. And umpire Shepherd a square leg. Has given Border out stumped. Australia are 118 for 3. We're in the 40th over. And that looked as though it was a good piece of planning. "13 overs for 24 and 3 wickets so far." Greg Ritchie is the batsman. There's the start. Well, there's a good example of how slow the pitch is. Greg Ritchie was starting to play his shot and hesitated, and then still went through with it. And it became the most gentle little dolly back to the bowler, Phil Edmonds. Edmonds is not quite certain where he wants the men for Wayne Phillips. Question of whether Gatting stays at short leg or someone goes across to point. They're negotiating at the moment. Decide to leave it as it is. Phillips off the mark. selection committee. Peter May, the chairman, Phil Sharp on the left, and Alan Smith on the right. And they've had a very good day so far. Harold Bird has spoken to Phil Edmonds. Official warning.
Well, if that's an official warning, McDermott will get through his first over here.
Embry again. Played that well. Changed his mind, went back, cut it late for 4. Short one again, that's powered off the back foot by Boone for 4 runs. A lesson should have been learnt by now to keep it up to these Australians. So there to Boone brings Australia onto the 150 mark. Bowled 9 overs in the morning's play. In no to Boone. Short again. Pushed away square by Boone. Misses absolutely nothing in that area. And it's 4 more.
Yes, David Boone, very stocky, strong little fellow, and anything a bit short, he really gets onto it very quickly indeed, and no chance at all for third man. He'd only got to run 15 or 20 yards, but there's no way he was getting around for that.
Beautiful straight drive by Boone. Nobody bothering to chase that one. It's all the way for 4 runs. So a very good 50 there for David Boone. Up goes the bat. His first 50 in this series.
4 more runs added to take the total up to 168 for 4. And that's a very important partnership between David Boone, 51 not out, and Wayne Phillips, 18 not out. Boone starting to stroke the ball very well up to the tee interval. Well, after tee, David Boone picked up another single, and that took him to his highest ever score in Test match cricket. Here now, with 1 run added, is Ian Botham coming in to bowl to Wayne Phillips. That's just about his favourite shot. Pitch is slow. No great amount of bounce there, and yet Phillips can still get that ball away with perfect timing on the offside. And a change in the field now. Botham looks as though he's intending to try and have Phillips caught at squarish short point on the offside. And that's why it's fraught with danger. It has to be spot on, otherwise Phillips will murder it. Well, now Botham got what he wanted when he had the man brought in close in the offside, and there's just been a bit of arm waving going on there to indicate that he's not delighted with the field, so he's now getting something else that he wants. He's having a man back on the fence at point. And that is out. He's through now. The first wicket. He's been trying to have Phillips caught at short cover. Finally got him with Downton, who earlier made a very good stumping to dismiss Alan Border. Phillips out for 36, and that is the break England so desperately needed.
Now another left-hander, Greg Matthews.
And Matthews is off the mark. 2 runs past square. $198 for 5. a little bit of a stop-go effort on a pitch that has been very slow. Oh, what a good catch. Boone's gone for 61. That's a splendid catch. Alan Lamb, the man at gully, and Boone has been crashing the ball away square of the wicket on the offside. Out for 61, and a very good innings it was. Botham versus O'Donnell. That'll get O'Donnell off the mark with 4. Something of a battle between young David and Goliath out there. Botham, the experienced all-rounder with the best figures of anyone in the game today, and O'Donnell on his first tour, just sneaking his 4 runs there.
John Embury once again. Trouble there. Terrific stop there by Botham. Very wild throw coming in. Enormous leap there. Botham backing up at slip. And he's knocked the lot over. No attempt made to play a shot whatsoever there by Matthews. An error of judgment and a great sight for any bowler. Off stump right out of the ground. It's 211 for 7, and Matthews has gone, and it's yet another wicket to Botham.
Well, certainly a miscalc here by Greg Matthews. That ball pitched, well, certainly off stump, and it just straightened onto off stump. That gives England a chance now. They're into the tail, although Jeff Lawson can bat a bit. He is not a mug by any means, but that just gives England that chance to bowl them out tonight. Another good delivery here by Ian Botham. The ball just going out a little bit again and leaving Jeff Lawson very flat-footed there. Certainly Ian Botham got the ball to move a little bit more off the seam now than did early this morning, but possibly he's bowled a little bit fuller length than he did earlier on.
And he's gone this time. Yes, up goes the umpire's finger. It's another for Botham. Bit of movement, the outside edge. 223 for 8. It's really been an excellent spell. Lawson on his way back. Deciding to leave the field as it is for the new batsman. Previously they've brought extra men up to bowl with a couple out. And that must be close. In fact, he's gone. First ball for McDermott down that end. Second wicket for Embury. And the second time this afternoon we've seen an error of judgment by the batsman out there. Matthews having his off-stump knocked out of the ground, and McDermott looking very plumb LBW there.
Catch. Overthrows. Up a couple there, and one for the throw as well.
Well, it did look as if he'd caught it then. It went very quickly. And both of them quickly realised he hadn't held it. It was quickly off the bat to Botham's right hand. Tremendous effort, but the ball just drops. He knows and throws. Unfortunately for Jonathan Agnew, no one backing up, so he had the catch dropped and overthrows on top of that.
Just a actually short of Gully, I think. Gatting might just have carried. Difficult to tell from this angle. Safely away over extra cover. That's good cricket from O'Donnell. That's what you have to do in this situation. You wait for the last couple of balls of the over when the field's in and smash it to whatever part of the park you can find. Now the man at cover has come in to save the single, which perhaps gives O'Donnell some scope for hitting away over the top. Or edging away down for 2, down to Paul Allen. And the 250 comes up for Australia in the 88th over. Shot from Simon O'Donnell, picked it up beautifully, smashed it away over mid-wicket for 6. 257 for 9. After a great start, it's been a struggle all day, and in fact we're now to see the man on the bottom line there who's taken most or second most wickets, Phil Edmonds, come in to bowl the last over from Warwick Road End. 15 overs, 4 maidens, 3 for 40 his figures. And perhaps it might have happened earlier had Phil Edmonds been able to come on from that Warwick Road End. And that made a nice finish for Phil Edmonds, who bowled consistently well all day. An excellent innings from Simon O'Donnell for his 45, and a most valuable little partnership that between O'Donnell and Holland right at the end of the innings. 257 for Australia, and the outstanding bowling came from 3 men, Botham in the second part of his bowling spell, where he finished up with 4 for 79, and the 2 spinners, Embury 24 overs, 7 maidens, 2 for 41, and Edmonds 15.1 overs, 4 maidens and 4 for 40. At one stage the Australians were scoring 75 runs per 100 balls. It got down to just below 50, which is still a pretty good rate, but that over rate, I think I really must query that, and I think possibly I'm not alone in that they couldn't even get up to an average of 15 overs per hour throughout the day. The game went past 6 o'clock, and the 2 spinners, Edmonds and Embury, bowled a lot of overs out there today. It was a funny sort of day. In fact, lacklustre is one of the phrases you might be able to come up with to describe it. Nothing seemed to be happening, and I think perhaps that was because the pitch was very low.